What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 20 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Fay Enchantress Old World Classic campaign. So as we saw last time, once again a bunch of nice battles, including and especially the one at Gnawpit, the now former capital of Clan Eshin, where one of the Hell Pit abominations gave a heck of a fight to the Royal Hippogriff Knights, the first thing that's truly challenged them over the course of this particular campaign, or really any of the Grail Knight units. Does make sense though. Oh, hello. Lokir is here. I was wondering where his main stack had gone. Why is he so damaged? Oh, perhaps in trying to move towards us through Slaneshi territory, he ended up taking damage to corruption. Maybe that's what happened here. Huh, kind of interesting. Anyway, it's good that we've sighted him. I'd like to keep an eye on him if possible, and most likely, or sooner rather than later, we'll meet up with him. Frankly, I would really like Alberic to be the one to fight Lokir, because that makes sense to me, with them both being sort of sea-themed lords / armies. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this particular turn, there's probably a couple of things, and it is only about halfway through the turn, so let's start doing. Now, the first thing, and this is something I thought of between the episodes, I think maybe we'll delete the Cutpurse camp here out of Bergenhafen. I think since the sort of Montlag for Bogenhafen thing didn't really rise when we built the camp, because it's a modded building, it's probably not valued too much by the AI. At least that's what I'm thinking is happening here. So in that light, we will just delete it and replace it with like a Grail Chapel or something, and then hope that that'll be fine. Why Grail Chapel? Just because we have the reductions in terms of costs. And I'm also sick of waiting. These guys are just going to go past Montlag. They need to get to the hub. It's a long past time. Anyway, Clovis Demia, you are supposed to go and train up, or at least help train up these fellas, as otherwise it's going to take too long for them to level up where we want them to be. It's a bit of a shame that even high-tier buildings won't let you build the high-tier brigands, but I guess they are brigands. It kind of makes sense that you're not recruiting brigand units so much as your those that survive get trained up, so not a big deal. Leon the Bell, I actually have two things with you. First of all, we are going to move towards Wessin, and we are going to occupy it, though the Yoke of Prophecy is the main reason you were here, but we still need to take a few of these territories. Plus we can help with the decorruptification, which I'm sure our allies are not going to do so well at. Then there's no real reason that Leon needs to be the one to lead this particular army, so I think what we'll do, since it's going to be our biggest sort of knightly blob, as I recall, Hagen de Gisoro is a sort of generic all-knight buffs, or charge bonus for knights, melee attack, physical resistance for knights, and no particular knight types. So he's probably the ideal sort of lord to lead that particular army, and this way we can get him on field in only 3 turns. So I think we will reset all his skill points right now, and we'll send him northward. There we go. Just a couple turns until he comes back. Alright, he's already spent some turns wounded like this, but it's all good. Then, Bertrand, I'm gonna move you in a second. Let's just give me a minute, buddy. Inez, Verna, you're both fine. Fleur and Maeva. Yes, I was potentially going to use you to transfer some stuff. You know what, then return here. We're gonna have you deliver a unit of Grail Knights to Renee, together with some Knights Errant and some other stuff. Gustav the Savior, you're going to move together with Bertrand. Jolene. One more turn? What do we think, guys? We could move out of Saint Jacques towards Guaniar. We just... you know what we could do? Actually, now that I think about it. Where's Rapunce? She is... by and large, the stuff that we want to put into her army now is mostly heroes. Assuming we don't want any more of the peasantry in here, and if this is not too many knights. Again, I did want to potentially replace a couple of the knights with the Knights of the Black Rose, but overall... Oh, we never did... Yeah, we can still do her quest at some point. Hopefully we can get her to level 15. Huh. Armor reduction for enemy armies in region. That's actually quite interesting. There is thusly potential to put a couple of armor-reducing, armor-sundering brigands in her army instead, or something else that reduces armor, which would help the battle pilgrims and the spearmen-at-arms fight, and I think the brigands would also benefit from the frenzy. There is potential. But anyway, while her army is not yet complete, it is, I think, complete enough to start moving. Because if we want to declare war on the Slaaneshi in short order, we need to be able to defend from an attack out of Tobaro, and thusly an army needs to be there. Even if Ponce's army isn't full, it does have a legendary lord and a legendary character to sort of be there to help. And then if we throw her a couple of brigands and a faceless, or a couple of brigands, oh wait, she'll need a mage of some kind, which we can't afford as yet, but that'll complete the army. Anyway, Jolene, I'm gonna say we're gonna send you into Guanya right now, in preparation to attack Durango, and Leo Armistead will probably stay here at Saint Jacques in case Saint Jacques is the one to get attacked. We'll also need to prepare the heroes with a bunch of anti-Slaaneshification stuff, so that they can't seduce us. We have gotten a fairly decent amount of those, so hopefully we can completely nullify seduction. Oh, actually, I don't remember. Can the accursed troop seduce units? I don't remember. I feel like at least one of the Slaaneshi adjacent factions can seduce, or it might just be Sigvald and Azazel. I just don't recall. Anyway, Raelas, you, sir, can move again. There is an army out here, but Luina's there. We could move to Lorraine, but Leon can move up there. You know what? Stay in our territory, I think. Go into encamp stance because... Oh, actually. There is a shipwreck here, which might give us a little bit of extra XP, and I think I'm willing to go and try and get that. So, first of all, son of Bretonnia, let us get you... You already have a basic variant of Harmonic Convergence. I guess we could go for Light of Battle, although... It's not that great in this particular case. I'm almost tempted to say we should max out Harmonic Convergence more, but we have plenty of mana, and so you should use it to some degree. You can max out Retinue Vow. No, you cannot, because you are saving those points specifically to get the... specifically to get the... Yeah, that should be fine. Healer and the other thing. Anyway, the Rotting Leviathan's gonna be some trouble here as we have no easy way to bring it down, and frankly the same thing with the Depth Guard, but I mean after that fight against Morger, I think these guys have earned our trust. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Again, I got fooled by waiting for a speech that was never going to come. We do outnumber the enemy, even though we are damaged, so we should still be pretty okay, and of course we now have 2 Sisters of the Thorn to rely upon. I frankly always felt that the Sisters of the Thorn, in SFO at least, should probably be a tier 4 unit at the very least, if we're considering tier representative of power, rather than the recruitment of, well, the recruitment buildings that they're reliant upon, just because Sisters of the Thorn and SFO are absolutely incredible units, and routinely get more kills and damage than Wild Riders do. Granted, they are fragile, and, well, obviously they get superpowered by being an Ariel's army, but they don't need to be an Ariel's army to be extremely strong. Anyway, I digress. We're going to start the battle off by annoying the enemy unit of Depth Guard as much as possible, including with our Sisters of the Thorn. They are not immune to contact effects, and the Toxic Venom in combination with the Curse of Anric here, dropping their armor to a mere 25, on top of the the trebuchets, the Blessed Field trebuchets firing upon them means that the single unit of Depth Guard gets pretty much obliterated. In the meantime, we have sort of forced the Rotting Leviathan into the trees, where it will get debuffed, and the axe units will hopefully sort of hack it apart by taking its legs out from under it. With, of course, our lost son together with our heroes helping out. In the meantime, the units of Brigand Raiders have crept up behind the enemy by traveling through the tree line, and are now using those twin blades and fast attacks of theirs to absolutely annihilate the enemy backliners. And actually, by the looks of it, the battle is pretty much ours. Our Brigands will hold the enemy zombies, the only units that we've been essentially ignoring so far, in place, and allow the artillery to do all the work. which clearly they're being pretty effective at doing. The enemy lord has been pincushioned here, where the pile of arrows and javelins from the Sisters of the Thorn are. The rotting Leviathan was brought down pretty handily by our strategy, and the battle, by the looks of it, is already ours. Very nice. Certainly had an easier time of it than against Morger, but once again, every single battle will count for this army because we need the XP to actually evolve all of these units. This is supposed to be a ranged cav by and large army, not a fully ranged cav army, though in theory if we wanted to we could make one. And, well, we're certainly working on it. Anyway, I did not see that there was a unit of deckhand mobs still remaining, but even with those pole arms of theirs, we will still be able to take most of them apart with the Brigand Raiders. And every little bit of XP is helpful. One last charge. One last zombie to bring down. Or two last zombies to bring down, or several, and with that, the battle is ours. Alright, there we go. Solid bit of work for everybody. Too bad there was no reward from any of these to get additional XP, because this was one of those rare times that I would take it just to train these guys up to Arimo. They've been working hard at it, but rank 8 is, you know, a fair distance that you have to cover. Anyway, we'll ransom the captives for the cash here. See if we get anything useful out of this. At the very least 5k would be nice, or 8k. Rogue Pirates destroyed, 8k. Nice. Obviously, materials at sea would have been better, but it's still pretty good. Frankly, going out to sea and grabbing a couple of islands would be nice, but the closest one is all the way out here at Castle d'Anès, and that's pretty far. I was also intending to send at least one army out to sea, though Alberic is the, you know, ideal most sort of target slash option for that particular case. Actually, what was the cost of the 2.5k? I mean, I'd like to build the officer's cabin, but for now, we will forgo it as we have other things to spend our cash on. Anyway, Aureolas, while you do heal at sea, I think we will start moving this way, just stay in our own territory for this particular turn. And then, ooh, I should have actually stopped you a little bit closer. Ah, no, we can still encamp to increase our replenishment even further. Then you've reached rank 15, sir, meaning you can get healer for the battle healing cap and casualty replenishment rate, which is one of the things we wanted here in light of the lady as well. And then we'll grab retinue physician for more replenishment. That way these guys can, you know, ow. Troops. That way these guys can take a little bit more damage. You, Faceless, need to move to scavenge armor and scavenge weapons as soon as you're done with Brigand sparring. And, oh right, I wanted another cunning Faceless in this particular army. We're gonna need it. Alright, we'll just have to wait until we, find one. You can keep going through Highwaymen, like so. And the armor will be nice as well, but I'd rather the melee defense stats as the sort of important thing. Then, we're not going to immediately attack Grungzent because they are currently at war with Ziflin, and perhaps we can get the Montlac trade going by also joining the war. In that light, we're going to send Bertrand first to grab Wissignon, which apparently very cheap. Is it full of rats? Huh, this is curious. It is full of Molder. Well, that's interesting. I guess they've occupied this ruin. I wondered why it was so cheap. I wonder if there's any more Molder over here. This is one of 8 territories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I guess there must be... This could be Molder. They're currently at war with the Ursun Revivalists. I guess we could straight up declare war on them and draw the Wood Elves into it. But again, the problem with this is if the Wood Elves start marching over there in the way that they did over here, they'll start trespassing through all of our allies' territories and then pissing everybody off. So I guess they'll just join the war without asking everybody. I really strongly feel that they need to adjust the join war thing so that you essentially, you know, click a little checkbox for whom you ask. Why are you always forced into either all or none? You know what I mean? It's a silly, weird design. And I don't really understand why they did it that way. Oh, actually, how much money are you willing to give us for this? 2.3k. Again, I'd love to take that money, but I'm now realizing that we don't really want Boris to die up here, so I think we'll let him keep his cash. We'll just straight up join the war. It's safer that way. I really don't want to, you know, be dealing with the Kislevites' problems already. Lewin has created enough problems for us, and frankly, as I recall, the Fay Enchantress has sort of dethroned a Royarch in the past and set up a new one, so Lewin, you better watch out, buddy. I mean, Lewin's a decent enough fella, minus all the, you know, blind eye to the oppression stuff, but I don't know, man. Northern Bretonnia is an absolute shambles here. Anyway, I would like to auto-resolve you. And occupy the place. And I'm going to hope that there isn't, in fact, another rat host just like out here. Warhorse, hey, Lichbone Pennant, nice. And this completes our Gisoro province. Good. And we could upgrade Roussillon, but we're very close to being able to go straight to Duchy Capital, and I think that's probably the better choice of the two. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what else we've got to this particular turn. We do have a little bit of cash that we can spend on something. It remains to see what. Jolene, I'm happy with where you currently are. I swear there was somebody else that we needed to move. Leonard, you're fine. You're fine. Theodoric de Brienne is fine. Armand de Caten, you are fine. You're the last army we're gonna get because you have no interesting buffs out of your unique line. Volcaire is waiting, and I think we're full on with the recruitment here. Funnily enough, if we wanted more of the peasant recruits, we can recruit them via global recruitment for free on this particular province, which is nice. Though most of them take 2 turns rather than 1, which is the reason that I didn't do it here. Huh. I'll think about it. I wanted to potentially get some Erimo in Bowmen Beastslayer's army. So I'm gonna focus down big boys, effectively. Although I suppose we could also use Wood Elves for that particular purpose, should we so desire. Anyway, you, Esmer, going down here. We're going to move you towards this camp. Oh, that'll actually put you in range of the camp. We won't be able to buy stuff right now because we need the money more. But I am interested in seeing what we have available out of here. We do have more man-eaters with ogre pistols, which we already have, but otherwise it's basic ogre bulls, which aren't quite as interesting, meaning this camp is quite inferior to the other camp over here, which at least has access to Mournfangs. We could maybe march you on down or have somebody else pick up those Mournfangs and deliver them to another army. Also, aren't you supposed to move, Thieving Damsel? Yes. You know what? Go past this. You know what? Steal once from Fort... actually, you don't need to. You have 6 turns. I'd like you to go down here and deal with the orcs, or steal tech from the orcs. I don't know what kind of tech you're going to be stealing from the orcs, but, you know. Pump wagons are frankly pretty impressive, so there's Gabo tech to potentially use. And hey, I'm willing to bet you could convince the odd Bretonnian lord that a Doom Diver is the way to go. It's not like there's a shortage of peasants. Anyway, Marie Le Jongleur, you are fine where you are. Chilfoy, you are waiting for your units, which you should get this particular episode at the very least. Maybe not this turn, but we'll see. You're good, at least for now. Bianca, you need to move towards or into a ranged focus army, which none of these is at the current time. Oh, actually, if we give some range units to Bohemond, you could actually come in handy. We got favored by the lady and range increase. Yeah, maybe that'll do. I don't remember how many of the damsels we're going to want in his army, but then we can't use the Erimo because the range buff will... Oh, actually, it will still apply to the Erimo. Yes. And all of the other range units. Yeah, that works. I think that works. Let's do that. And then we'll do maybe one with Guardian. If we do a second damsel in his army, I don't know if we necessarily need 2, but he will have enough peasantry to get benefits from small spot for the... soft spot for the small folk, rather, so, yeah. Anyway, Dorian, you're fine where you are. Keller, I haven't decided which army we're going to put you into, and apparently I moved all the tech thieves. Okay, that kind of surprises me, but alright, fair enough. Do we want to save our cash? Did I do the free buildings? I think I did. I just want to take a look at if there's anything that is of importance. You, if we upgrade you, we'll get another faceless capacity, and that 1700's not so bad. Grail, yeah, I'll go for the Grail Chapel as well. Frankly, we could upgrade Foul Peak if we wanted to. Oh, wait, actually, these are increased in cost by virtue of being in yellow territory, but it is what it is. The capacity is pretty important right now, so I think we can still do it. Ireme. Something was deleted from here, apparently, but I don't know what. What I do know is that we can maybe grab another one of these cut-purse camps or a Grail Shrine. Again, this gives us double the capacity, so let's go for the Grail Shrine. Hildegrad, you could upgrade Zvorak because this will reduce the construction cost in this particular territory, though I'm a little bit wary of it just being destroyed by something. We'll see, I guess. Kesselson gas, you should not be super expensive at 2.6k, and I think we'll save the last of the 2k for next time. Yeah. Plus, we still need to maintain enough cash to recruit stuff. Oh, do we want to do a round of naming? Well, you know what, let's do a round of naming after we do another fight, maybe. So let's skip on a sign. Building upgrades, outpost available, hero not... I thought I moved them all. Oh, those are just the ones waiting around the hub, that's fine. Commandment available. Ah, yes, we've secured the South Grey Mountains. Probably going to trade them to the Wood Elves for various other territories and to fix border gore. Oh, actually, we should probably upgrade them nonetheless. Like so. And I believe we're good to end the turn. Diplomacy check, I think we'll wait. End turn. Alright, what is this? Legion of Chaos attacks the Urson Revivalists. Of course we will enter war on side of ally. There are Kislevite units I would like to intersperse amongst a few of our own troops. And frankly, well, to a lesser degree, the Winged Lancers, but the Griffin Legion are one of the few knights fancy enough to put the Bretonnians to shame in terms of all their barding and all that sort of stuff. Although some of the Imperial Knights look absolutely magnificent, specifically thinking Knights of the Black Rose and Knights of Moor, which are both just tops. Anyway, military access with Kotep, I think he's not liked by Teclis, and I'm more inclined to want the Elven units with ours, as Bretonnians and Undead don't really mix all that much. I suppose in theory we could put some with one of the Brigand armies, but I don't know, I feel like that's pushing it. Oh, I suppose if we got a, what is this? And now Heralds of the Tempest attacks the Ice Guard. Wow, okay, everybody's declaring war on Kislev. I guess they've been doing too well. I was also thinking we could, well, put a lord in charge of one of our armies and say that he's a Blood Knight. Contrary to what the game will have you believe, the vampires are not going to be leaving just piles of corruption wherever they go, and most are hidden in plain sight, and doing just fine, especially in Bretonnia. There's some good Blood Knight recruiting to be had there. My point is, in that army, we could potentially do some undead, but it would be more vampire counts undead, and I don't think we're going to be able to get one of those as allies. Anyway, Supervisor. Faction destroyed Carcassonne. Oh, they actually did it. Oh. Huh. Well, that's funny. Durthu just ran away. Rather, that means we have to deal with these guys now. Damn it, okay. That means, Malene d'Outremer, you have to book it back here to deal with this nonsense, because these guys are then going to probably jump out of a putrid stump and then move towards us. Alright, fair enough. Erentrians, yeah, that war against the Dark Elves was never going to happen. And ooh, we got a new right available. Royal Pegasus Knight for Torment Beaumont. I don't know who you are, but we'll maybe find out if I see you again. We will perform the Vision of the Future because, well, it's our only option. And then we will select a new tech. We are at 10,000 maxed chivalry. Oh, which means we could, if we wanted to, fight the final battle right now. What do you guys think about do we save the final battle for the last episode? Because our faction does have a final battle that will give us... Yeah, we can't fight it right now. And this will give us long victory, which increases our allegiance points gained, which allows us to get more troops. On the other hand, it would be a great sort of capstone thing to do for the final episode. So I don't know, I could lean either way. Anyway, Esme, just sort of sit here for now. Maybe we'll still pick up a few of the regular man-eaters or something. There's potential for it at any rate. And Fay Enchantress, oh yes. You and Eleanor of the Braid, you guys have to work together here. So you're gonna push to Kirik Angazar. And then we'll try to take Migdal von Gelberek at the same time. I think I took this little territory. Oh, It's actually decent. I think I took that little territory between the episodes, but I no longer remember. Anyway, I would like you to hopefully be able to push towards Migdal von Galberac. You know what, don't switch stances because I don't trust it. And if you could do both, that would be great. You do seem to be losing some movement range just by having to travel through Carcassonne even while it's besieged. So we'll deal with that. Oh, wow. Looks like Vidovdan is going to fall to the Karazakarak. Dwarf says King Thorgrim himself is here. I note that Gorkil has sacked Matork instead of taking it, which means Kypros is under threat. But we most likely cannot reach Kypros in one go, which is kind of annoying. Maybe I should have built a structure there. I'll consider it. Anyway, I've interrupted my own thoughts like 6 times now. First of all, I wanted to build a Grail Chapel here instead of what we had previously. Second of all, we're going to take one of these chivalry things because we have maxed chivalry, and I'm pretty sure it can't rise over 10,000 because it's suspicious that we got exactly 10,000, right? So let's go for... I'm going to say Channel the Lady. Get more buffs for our battle pilgrims, as we are going to well, not even potentially going to be using a fair few of them. What the heck is this? Oh, just as we move up here to Durango, you try to run away. Unfortunately for you, sir, we are still in range of you. In fact, both armies are in range, and you will need to leech XP. Oh, wait, no. Are you in range? Maybe in March stance, or in whatever this stance is. Huh. Actually not sure that the March stance would be the worst thing here. Anyway, I think we're going to have to attack you because, yeah, this guy is moving, so I guess this Slaneshi fight will begin. Hey, Deathmaster Snitchy is back, and it looks like he's moving towards Alcazaro. I might have to send somebody after him. I don't think Alberic can reach him from here, unfortunately. You in... No, you cannot. Hell... Wow, everybody's moving towards us. Malak's there. Where are you going, incidentally? You are currently at war with the accursed troop, but you're also right there. And to see battle for Alberic is certainly something I would like to do. Oh, there's another army of theirs there. Okay, wow, yeah, this is getting interesting. Alright, one thing at a time. First of all, I wanted to do an eagle check, and there we go. We got a Great Forest Eagle out of Talzin. What about Kavarok? Oh, wait, no, not Kavarok. Vidrioth? 29. Oh, Vidrioth. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, well. Modron is fine. Order of Lore Masters. We can potentially get Oceania. Somebody suggested we get the sea elementals in the in Alberic's army, which I don't mind, minus my general dislike of the, very concept of the unit because they didn't really exist in the lore. But anyway, the problem with the sea elemental is the likelihood of these guys actually tiering up to tier 5, which is a long time. So I think we'll just go with some Oceanids, which will work. It'll certainly bolster Alberic's melee line and make it a lot tankier. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to fight a fight, and a fight shall be fought. Alberic, I guess we will... I mean, we can level up you, although do we need to? We have 4 of you here. We have 4 of you here. It depends. Here's what we'll do. Chauffroy, we're gonna have you besiege Borgas. Actually, Jean de Yoink, I would like you to first identify what's in Borgas.
I have seen the way.
Or actually, you know what? Steel Tech from Pina Wood instead.
Raise it to the ground.
This is one of our campaign goals, so we should really mosey on over. And hey, you've sighted the Mask of Slaanesh. I wonder where she's going. Alright, so Chilfoy, you go to Borgas. Or is it Borga, most likely? And you, for some reason, have the Twilight Banner. Why? Was there a reason I wanted this on you? Maybe there was, but I don't remember what it is. Probably not for you personally. We'll see. Kind of makes sense for you to be able to stock, though. Then you can reinforce. This one I think we can auto-resolve as it's not a... Oh, go into regular stance, please. Would you have been able to reach Pina Wood from here? No. Actually, wait. Maybe you would be able to. Alright, but then if you go for Pina Wood, you'd immediately get attacked by the Mask of Slaanesh, which means you'd probably be too damaged. Anyway, you will attack Borga. Like so. This will slightly damage us and give us a crown of command. Occupy. And don't keep that, we'll hopefully turn into something useful. Alrighty, and the same with the Scroll of Shielding. Stallion Plain now secured, we will go for the Realm of Chivalry. I can keep the Barracks of Valor, why not? Wait, no. This place doesn't give us any capacities, or this building doesn't give us any capacities. Screw you. Then... yeah, we can very much reach Pina Wood. It's barely defended, but this is the bigger concern. Especially since the Demonites have, you know, powers. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that these guys are here, and I think they shall be fought. So, Alberic, tis time to fight at sea. It's what you wanted all along, sir. And then Latech Thief, you know what? Steal Tech from San Luis first, and then move back to Sahagun after. Hey, it's Admiral Kenwovale Wrathbring. Really, Latech Thief? Really? You failed and then you critically failed? Come on. Alrighty, and then you can reinforce here. Haven't fought a lot of Vampire Coast, so I'm gonna enjoy this outright. You have no heroes at this current time. You're just gonna have to be a hero enough for everybody. Alright, so... oh, is that boarding crew spam? One moment. Yeah. That's actually a fairly dangerous front line. Boarding crew are not to be underestimated. Anyway, kinda makes me want to play Luther Harkin. I am a part of the Great Ocean. What could you possibly offer me? Death? Anyway. We will not ask the Slaneshi to join us. We will... I don't think we'll call anybody to help. Although... there's probably nobody close enough to actually move this way. Might not be the worst idea. You know what, let's do this. But this faction will be dead in like 3 turns, and we can maybe pick up a bonus little bit of allegiance, at least possibly. I'll take it.
Not this time.
Alright, like so. Then, actually, while we're here, do we have any allegiance missions? We do not. Alright, it's fighting time, Alberic. Let's see how all those sea powers work for you. Do we want the main army on field, or do we want them to come in as a reinforcement? You know what, I think I'd like them on field. I feel like it would be more interesting with the cannons actually firing at us rather than, you know, being destroyed just as they make their way onto the battlefield. Anyway, a Razor standard on, I don't know, one of you guys, doesn't really matter. Decent likelihood we're not going to keep it in this army anyway. Actually might be better on the Knights Errant, who actually lack weapon strength, but also lack armor-piercing damage. But anyway, Banner of Eternal Flame on Alberic, I think, and the Gleaming Pennant, I don't know, put it on one of the peasants, doesn't really matter. Alrighty. Away we go. Away we go.
You are the ladies' man, Borderland. Remember your vows.
Alrighty, here we go. We are not going to do anything fancy or try to get around the enemy using the tree line for cover. Alberic and his signature Knights of the Realm are going to charge downhill directly towards the enemy. Let the bullets and the cannon, or cannonballs, I guess, fly. And we'll see if we can tank them all as we move forward. Alberic himself taking a dozen cannonballs to the face and already losing about 30% of his HP. There's more of that where it came from. Looks like the lead knights are dropping 2 bullets fire, and Alberic drops to 50% of his HP, but the knights are here. And perhaps the true test of a knight is not how many peasants he can club or how many zombies he can ride down, but how many cannonballs he can take to the face, or at the very least, whether he can bravely charge into the enemy line and stare down the barrel of a cannon. Anyway, with the knights engaging the enemy, the cannons grow silent, and Alberic moves to attack the enemy lord. Down to about 40% of his HP, but the enemy lord, after a couple of hits, echoes the same kind of damage that Alberic has in the meantime taken. And while the Knights Errant, or Knights of the Realm rather, did not loop around the enemy, the Knights Errant, with their bronze as opposed to silver shields, did in fact go around, and have obliterated one of the enemy units of deck gunners and are now helping out against the animated hulks. Our peasants have taken position up on top of the hill. One hill for the trebuchets, which have been firing for the entire fight, and the other hill for the longbows, which are now firing in support against the animated hulks, while the foot squires and battle pilgrims engage the enemy. I do like for those armies that have a Grail relic to have a couple of battle pilgrims, at least one battle pilgrim on occasion, just to sort of guard the Grail relic. It seems like the lorefully appropriate thing to do. Especially with the worship of the lady effectively being forbidden, it's kind of a gray area, to the Bretonnian peasantry, and the sort of a likelihood of doing so, meaning actually worshipping the lady means, generally speaking, becoming a battle pilgrim and following Grail Knights around. But anyway, I digress. The last enemy unit remaining on the field is the extremely tanky Sirens, especially with no magical damage to be set in this army, with the exception of Alberic himself, and they did take a while to bring down. In the meantime, though, I completely forgot that there was a tiny little reinforcing army, both from us and from the enemy, because I was distracted, and the reinforcements arrived with more Sirens to smash into the enemy our longbows. We're gonna move some of the peasants to help out. Gonna pop off a wind blast to try to knock out a few of those Sirens. Funnily enough, the wind blast kind of matching their color scheme. And just do our best to hold the line. Fortunately, the reinforcements had a Grail relic as well, which means it is conferring immunity to psychology to these peasants. And all they have to do is wait long enough for Alberic and his Knights of the Realm to once more close. Alberic takes a few more bullets to the face, but frankly he's gotten fairly used to it over the course of this fight. A landing upon Charlie Sharpeye here, a few strikes with his trident, or a few swipes with his Hippogriff's claws, or Tempest's claws I should say. The enemy's second lord falls defeated, and their army begins to melt. And there we are. Alberic proving that the domain, that the sea is the domain of Manann, rather than Stromfels, as the Vampire Coast would have you believe. Although some would say that they are technically the same god. But anyway, close victory for us. We took a little bit of damage, but it was kind of on purpose, so I'm perfectly happy to take a little bit of damage for a glorious charge directly into the enemy. Alrighty, there we go. Very nice fight. And can one even call oneself a true Bretonnian knight if you haven't charged headlong into the enemy and took a few cannonballs to the face? I don't think so. And the Knights of the Realm certainly proved themselves in doing so. We will once again ransom the captives, as we need every chunk of change we can get at this time. And Pirate Hunter's Sword of the Quest. No. And the Potion of Toughness, yes, but not for you. And Talisman of Preservation. Good. Alright, let me kill in battle, let me kill in battle. Alberic, you could, in theory, by landing, most likely reach San Luis. We can't reach this place, the Malok Slayer, in one turn anyway. And, oh, we probably want to proceed to Sahagun anyway. Unless it's not full of rats at all. Wait. How many territories do you have again, Snitchy? 1. What's the likelihood that it's Sahagun? You know what? Do this. We will send Camille Everstone here.
Taking my leave.
And we shall see what's over there. Nothing. Don't colonize it. I'm not spending 5k on this right now. Alberic, try to land and see if you can't reach San Luis. Go here. Like so. Then switch to fast stance and oh, just out of range. Isn't that a shame? You can reach it, but you don't have siege attacker, and I don't believe Alberic. Oh, he could transfer the field troops. We've done that before, and I guess we'll be doing it again. To San Luis he shall go. Thank you, Camille. That works rather nicely for us. Alright, you go here. Ooh, there's Dread Knights in that stack? Oh, this is gonna be lovely, especially since we took some damage in that fight. Away we go. Oh! Huh, you can't reach Camille. Ah, well then it won't work. Honestly, Sally out, but yeah, looks like we're just out of range. It's a shame. I find it silly that, I mean, we can... I find it silly that a reinforcing army's siege equipment doesn't count for the purpose of being able to attack, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I just don't know. Anyway, I go here, I guess. We'll see if they sally out. I suppose if we have Camille take San Luis next turn, then also turn this stance off and go into an camp stance. It'll power your army up. Ooh, actually I lied. Channel, because your mana is gone. And you can be in regular stance as well. See if we can't go over here to Malok's lair next turn, but also keep an eye on the mask, who we can apparently no longer see. Wellity, wellity, wellity. Alright, you know what? We could have you wipe out Annie Scott and then back off. Are you at war with the mask? Oh! Huh. Actually, if the mask takes Pina Wood, that would work for us. You know what? Go into and camp, maybe. No, but then... Now, you know what? Sit in camp. I'm wondering if the mask takes Pina Wood. If we can bait her into doing that, then she's stuck and we attack Pina Wood immediately next turn. Possibly. Alright, we'll see. Anyway, Fay Enchantress, so you will... Alright, you're gonna have to fight this most likely. Bertrand, you are going to return to Grungzint, I believe. And wait, was it this turn or last turn that I did the thing? You know the thing? No, it was this turn. Damn, okay, we're gonna have to wait on that. You guys, however, can move. Go to the hub. I got a lot of these extra troops that I want delivered and put to use. Lovely. Cassian, I believe you're hankering to fight some Dark Elves. Huh, it looks like the High Elves are taking these territories themselves. Oh, good for them. I was going to take these territories and transfer them to them. That's lovely. They're currently allied with Kuhan and us and nobody else, meaning if they take all of this, that'll be nice. The only thing that'll annoy me is then we won't be able to trade them Klessan, or trade Klessan from them. But I guess we'll see. Alright, well, either way, that doesn't change the fact that Cassian's gonna keep moving north and go and grab the other territories belonging to the Dark Elves. Hopefully after our caravan is safe. Alrighty, also while we're at it, we did the fight, so let's drop a few names, shall we? Oh, before I forget, I wanted an eagle. You know what? You. Are you safe to recruit here? What's the likelihood that this is full of rats? It exists. I'm not gonna lie. You know what? Go into an camp stance in our territory still, but hopefully far enough away to where you can't die. How about that? Makes more sense to me. Alright, Leon, you will grab Larre, and you will go for the Eagle 1. And you will colonize. Lovely. And obviously don't collect the income here. We'll build this, even though we're trading both of them. And just to double check, nobody else can build the Eagle. You were one turn away from grabbing an Eagle from Vidrioth. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, Bertrand, I would like you to... Oh, I was going to say I'd like you to raid. But too late. Oh well. Not a big deal. Can't go into ambush either. Alright, just sit there and wait, buddy. Clovis, you are heading towards Riolas' army. And I note that Ronnie's shorthands did defeat Lewin. Lewin has fallen again. But it looks like Ronnie is going to get taken out by Eldred Warner here. I feel like it should be embarrassing that the Imperials appear to be doing better than Lewin is. And this is out of Sigmarsheim, which is like a minor Sigmarite chapel. But anyway. Let's keep moving. So, Rene Denios. So with Moslak... I want to take Moslak ourselves, but with Kypros under threat, perhaps we cannot. We could, in theory, have Gotrek and Felix take Moslak, though admittedly... I don't know about reaching Kypros. What's a garrison look like? Probably not good enough to defeat these guys. It depends on how they react to this. And also, whether they can move out here to deal with us. Alright, you know what? I think, yeah, we'll risk taking...
I have seen your heart.
You can't run, right? Alright, let's do this. You are going to first reinforce at Moslak. Oh wow, no, it's gonna take all of your movement range. And Moslak has enough defenders. Oh, I don't like that. How much do we care? Well, we care about Brasov, that's the thing. We care about Brasov a fair bit. I don't want these guys to take Moslak because these guys are not faction I wanted to trade with. We could just sacrifice Kypros, but then if these guys take Kypros, it'll be doubly annoying. It is what it is. Alright, fine. You are going to reinforce here. We'll have Gotrek and Felix attack Eldred Sido.
My lady
Attack Eldred Sido.
I serve the lady.
And then we'll attack Moslak immediately afterwards. Resolve this. Should be fine. I think. Wow. Really? That many? Really? I mean, I get that they have Demigryph Knights, but I don't think they would have killed this many spears and polearms while being fired upon by the Mad-Eaters with Ogle pistols. Nowhere near it. But that's auto-resolve for you. I am happy with another Twilight banner, though, so that will come in handy. Oh, I know what I was going to use the other Twilight banner for. Okay. Just reminded myself. That's fine. Let us go for the cash. And I don't really care about the negative trait. Twilight banner out. Enemy killed in battle. Then we'll have the war declaration. Let's see, Karazakharek. If we join your war against Black Venom, I am willing to take your money. It's not that much money, but I'm willing to take it. These guys will be dead in a turn anyway. Then, this, by the looks of it, we're going to have to fight because we took an unnecessary amount of damage. So, to Moslak we shall go.
For Bretonnia.
And yeah, it'll kill some units. Alright, fair enough. Do we want to level for this? At the very least, Gotrek and Felix, you have reached rank 12, which is what we've been waiting for. So, Fate of Grimnir gives us Gotrek's Doom a massive defensive supercharge for you, effectively. We've got magic item drop chance. Yeah, I always take magic item drop chance. Treasure Hunter, most definitely. Perfect Vigor, very, very nice in SFO. We are not fighting Chaos right now, so this is of no real use, but getting stuck in, more melee defense is very nice. On the offensive, melee attack when attacking. I like it. Alright, frankly, there's a lot of good stuff in this tree, so yeah. Felix, you are going to grab Helping Hand to be able to give a massive, well, defensive and offensive buff. Glorified Sentry gives you Guardian, Sweet Talker. It's plus 50 diplomatic relations. Gonna have to go with that. Lethal Romancer, at least give you charmed attacks. I don't believe you need a second point as it doesn't do too much. More importantly, we have to the bitter end because it will allow you to heal Gotrek and whoever he's with. Prodigious Swordsman is not available to us. Dragon Slayer is kind of meh. I'm going to say Guardian for the additional passive physical resistance. You, Paladin, temporarily here. Keep going through to Colossal Strike, and I'm going to say Woundmaker. Again, we can maybe use you as a specialist anti-large, which is kind of the point. You, I still haven't decided what to do with, so we'll go Magical Reserves, Earthing. Yeah, put a point in Comet and then Arcane Conduit. Always nice to have basic training, and wherever the lady is universal, so it's fine. You, Renee. You have peasant proficiency in lowborn militia as well as the peasant's DUT. You could grab the Guided by the Lady under the assumption that you will continue to have some range units, so let's do that. And you cannot go into an camp. Alright, fine, fair enough. Alright, let's do this fight then. Oh, actually, wait. I said I did want to put a few names down, so let's put a few names down. So, let's start with the lowest of the low, the peasant mobs. Alright, Better Sterlanders. Hilarious name, incidentally. Peasant Defense Force Veterans. Like, so Peasant Distraction Force, rather. Little Unclean Ones. In the same manner, I suppose, the Unwashed. And Bread Boys. Like so. Do you have a name, Grail Relique? Not same as Grail Relique. You can be totally a knight. Like so. Alright, that's good enough for Cassihon's army for now. Bertrand, you've been fighting for a while. You have Bretonnia People's Front and the Proletariat plus Les Bourrées, and... or is it Les Bourrées? I don't remember. I think it's Les Bourrées. I don't remember if there was an accent there, but I can't type them in this thing, so anyway. One of the Brigand Waylayers is unnamed, so let's name you. The Hooligans. And like so, you, Bowmen and Bergerac, will become La Flèche Noire. And again, just imagine the accent, can't do anything about it, and oh, you two can become Erimo. Yes, do it. Good. And it'll be a while until you guys are, well, actually not that much of a while. Rank 6 to become Aspirant Hoods. Alright, definitely want some of those in there. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, let's continue. We've got the reinforcing army coming in. You. With the bunch of axes. Let's name a couple of the axe units, because these guys are staying as axes. Although, admittedly, they would be stronger under a Crownless Lord, and what I might do is just keep a couple of them in Artois' army, and then maybe put more of them in a different army, where we can sort of get the most out of them as possible. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, you can be Brigand Kriegs, and you can be the Unbroken Axes. Technically, well, let's say, while they did not participate in the breaking of the broken axe, other axemen did, so, you know, I'm just gonna have to go with this at this time. Anyway, let's see. Mr. Alberic, you have some foot squires that are going to stay in your army, and these guys did start with decent armor, so I at least should have named at least one of them. And let's go for Blades of the Grail. Like so. And maybe that's good enough for now, and we'll do another round afterwards. No, let's do another round afterwards. Anyway, we are besieging here. Wait. We're besieging in we're besieging in like 3 locations. Alright, let's start with this because I think it'll be the most interesting fight. Quick little leveling. And yes, I know I leveled Gotrek and Felix, but shut up. Do you need Chivalric Code? No, you're going with Knights of the Realm. There's no need for the other stuff. Worshippers of the Grail, Glorfiniel's Progeny, that's fine. Lance of Bretonnia helps you, but doesn't really help anything else. You know, let's get Lady's Mantle. The missile fire from the Dark Elves is going to be pretty dangerous. Ooh, Peasant's Purpose into Arcane Wisdom, yes please. Obviously go for Harmonic Convergence, in fact double up on it, because it's a great spell. Inspiring Presence, Curse of the Midnight Wind into Roiling Skies, like so. And their entry begins against... Gotta go with Dark Elves. Alright, then you... Wait, no. You, Camille, what do you have? Peasant's Purpose, Arcane Wisdom, and... Oh, that's all we could get. Huh. That was 2 points? No, that was 3 points. We could go 1, 2, 3. Oh, man. And we could maybe need regrowth in this particular fight, so I'm gonna say regrowth first, and we'll do this afterwards. Alright. Now, we'll start with this one, we'll do the Gotrek Felix one after. Wait, we can't even do this one. Damn it, I completely forgot. Unless... Wait a moment. Go into the Crusade stance. Go here. Cancel. Take a trebuchet. No, wait. Take a trebuchet from Alberic. Like so. Then transfer. Ah, no. Didn't work. Alright, I tried, guys. I tried my best. I don't think it can be done in this manner. Unless. Wait a moment. Or can it? Dun dun dun. Fantastic. Alright, so we can... In fact, you know what? Get both of them on the field then. Take both of the trebs from Alberic. He won't be able to move again this turn then, but it's... Well, he wasn't gonna anyway. I guess it was worth it doing that. And I thought I was stupid. I guess the two aren't mutually exclusive. Transfer all of this. I was correct. Anyway, go. Alrighty, here we go, another round for Alberic to face off against more appropriate foes for him, and lore-wise, I would say for Bretonnia as well. I think one of the sort of Lacking aspects to at least some degree of the... Well, actually, I was about to say the old world, but in reality, it's all of the maps that we currently have. It's that Bretonnia does have a Dark Elf problem, a fairly big one, wherein their first... Ooh, I love this color scheme on these guys. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, lucky Loke here. Anyway, what was I saying? I got distracted. The biggest threat and foe by far for Bretonnia is the Greenskins, with their constant issue, especially to Carcassonne, but just generally speaking, and then followed by Beastmen. But the Dark Elves are also a major issue for them, as they are constantly reaving up and down their coastline and, taking entire villages into the slave holds of their Black Arcs, and then, getting the heck out of there, as they do. So it is nice to finally engage the Dark Elves in some combat, even if they are in a occupied Imperial settlement here. And we are waiting because Albrecht still has to make his way onto the battlefield. Alright, well, we've seen the trebuchets do their thing. They're going to knock out the rest of the enemy towers. And a couple more hits will send them on their way, while we start to get into position. At the same time, the enemy Black Arc support is coming down periodically. It's actually wiped out one of our units of, or at the very least, severely damaged and forced to withdraw one of our units of Peasant Spears. Or actually, I think it was a Peasant Bowmen unit. But I suppose it doesn't matter over much. What does matter is Alberic has arrived on the battlefield. And man, the sort of Black Arc support abilities look so inferior compared to... Azure Fire, the ability of Aislan nowadays. And they're also so much easier to dodge, as in the Black Arc support abilities are so much easier to dodge because they are a rather small area. Even the bigger area one is a small area compared to the Azure Fire one, which feels a little bit odd to me, but what do I know? Anyway, we have got everybody in position now, and it's time to start moving forward. Or it will be in a few seconds. We want to breach that second gate so that our knights can move into the enemy settlement, and maybe we can fire upon the walls as well, but it isn't quite as critical. Alrighty, and there we go. It's time to get our knights into position directly through the gate. They may be damaged still from the previous fight, but we will use the healthier units essentially to lead the charge through the gate, and then sort of succession. The units after the leading unit will be successively less healthy, is what I'm getting at. Anyway, Alberic will take a few hits. He is used to it after the previous battle he fought, and moves up on top of the walls to try to silence as many of the especially anti-large handbow corsairs, such that they don't do too much damage to the knights, and just runs back and forth along the walls, charging everybody and dishing out plenty of damage, I'm sure. Up to 41 kills and 10,000 damage within a few seconds. I mean, a big ol' hippogriff and a legendary lord riding a big ol' hippogriff on top of the walls is a scary thing. In the meantime, our Knights of the Realm and Knights Errant alike have arrived through the enemy gates. Of course, our peasants are on the approach, but they're like 4 times slower than these guys, so it'll take them a while to get here. And fortunately, the knights have plenty of targets to kill until they do. Though we will have to be careful, as there are Harganeth executioners down here with their massive melee attack and armor-piercing damage. The relatively fragile Knights of the Realm are liable to take a fair bit of hurt. In addition to that, over on the left flank, the Cold One Dread Knights have arrived, and we have peeled away most of our knights, leaving 1 unit of Knights Errant to keep them pinned. But we will need to reposition. In order to make sure the Knights Errant don't die, we're going to pop an emergency Flesh to Stone, which gives them 30 or 40 seconds, whatever it is, of an individual models being unable to die. Since the Cold One Dread Knights are very nasty in SFO, we don't want them tearing through that unit, which they would be able to do. And even with Flesh to Stone, they've lost about 30-40% of their HP after heals, mind you. And here we go, looks like a second unit of Cold One Dread Knights has arrived to help out the first, but Alberic has moved to lead his knights in battle, and with the high alpha damage at 900 of Tempet here, Alberic should be able to knock out individual models reasonably quickly. Honestly, I'd like to see him fight with his trident a little bit more, but he does have a named hippogriff, so it feels like he should be on a hippogriff. Fortunately, with all of the dukes that we have confederated, we're going to use a couple of them on foot, a couple of them on horse, a couple of them on Pegasus, and a couple of them on hippogriffs, just so that we have a sort of plenty of a variety. Anyway, the nightly contest continues, and I think knocking out a Cold One Dread Knight is a feat worthy of any Knight of the Realm. As obviously reflexes and experience-wise, any elf is going to be stronger significantly than a random knight, and certainly a Cold One Dread Knight. And the Dread Knights are certainly, if not quite giving as good as they get, are knocking out a decent number of the models. 17 kills in the Cold One Dread Knights, and all knights, so that's pretty decent. Unfortunately for them, with the Curse of the Midnight Wind upon them, their stats are significantly lower. Though they are keeping the rest of our units back, it has allowed our peasantry time to arrive and close the distance, and in fact, hack apart the enemy executioners, which were still fighting down here. Our range units are also moving into position. In fact, they have been firing at least somewhat in support this entire time, and are continuing to do so, and destroying, by the looks of it, some spears and Black Ark Corsairs. While our Knights of the Realm, which are anti-large, have been fighting those Cold One Dread Knights, we use the time to peel the Knights Errant away and loop them all the way around to smash into the rear lines of the enemy that are still in the game. Which, by the looks of it, is working quite well, and thusly didn't, force us to sacrifice too many Knights Errant to the Cold One Dread Knight blunder. But they can certainly chase them down and make sure that those that are routed do not rally. Fortunately, with the arrows raining down upon them, and while the Knights raining down upon them, it's raining Knights. The enemy doesn't really have a prayer. The bounce power shifts to 90% or 95% in our favor, even with the murderous prowess up and running, activating perhaps a teensy bit too late for the enemy to take as much advantage of it as possible, as obviously the Cold One Dread Knights have murderous mastery. Oh, I like the, is that a key heraldry? Kind of hard to, I can't remember, pause it, whatever. Should occasionally take a extra look to see all the different dukedoms, designs, and all the various Knights of the Realm. Anyway, with that, the last of the enemy Black Ark Corsairs shatters, and we restore this coastline. Well, I guess it wasn't originally a Bretonnian coastline, but we nonetheless restore it to us. Liberate it, let's say. Alrighty, there we go. Very nice. As Alberic starts to take command of the sort of sea here and around Bretonnia, fighting the Dark Elves, following the Vampire Coast. And rank 12 now for Camille, which, was she the one that we put the extra points into the other stuff? I guess we'll see. Free armor, silver, steel as well. Knights of the Realm did fairly well, roughly 16k on most of them, but one of them, these ones getting 24k and significantly better. Decent little bit of work out of our foot squires, with the best one doing 7,000 damage, and well, the fact that they were fighting some Harganeth executioners for some time is to their credit. And decent little bit of work out of the men at arms with longbows as well, but just enjoyed everybody sort of attacking at the same time. We will occupy the place. Like so, and Alberic has reinforced and is now a savior as well with a bonus speed. Armor of silver steel, no. And actually, wait, no earthing rod either. Sword of Anti-Heroes, finally starting to get some items. I like to see it. Camille, were you the one who? Yes, so we'll go now Peasant's Purpose and Arcane Wisdom, at least to start. And we'll go, again. Alright, Vampire Ghost Errantry. I like so. Ooh, the Brass Cleaver for that one. Okay, that's one we definitely want to do. And I noticed Camille got to 2 levels, whereas the Reinforcing Lord got none. Quite interesting, isn't it? Are you able to... No. You are not able to. Alright, channel him. I was wondering whether we could put him to a stance and attack Admiral Conwovel there, but alas, we cannot, at least not at this time. Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Alright, there is still this to consider, but to do so we have to put the... Okay, you know what? We haven't fought Slaanesh. We may want to, in theory, save this for another episode, but at the same time, I don't know if we actually do. You are not able to reach MANANN'S, so let's go to Valley of Windmills. Attempt to succeed.
I cannot.
You disappoint me, Tech Thief. This is why you have no name. And then Matahari is going to proceed to Montana, and I would also like her to, you know, sort of keep scouting it. Rapunzel, while you may be waiting for heroes, that doesn't mean you can't move through the territories and get ready to attack Tobara. We can maybe even, if we have some spare money, get a hero for you here. Oh, we can only make spies here. Oh, funnily enough, Monster Hunter might be an appropriate spy either for Artois, because Beast Hunters or Beast Slayers or whatever is one of the traits that Chilfoy has, or possibly for Bohemond Beast Slayer. Bane of Beast, sure, whatever. So I may do that. And depending. I forgot who has what at this point, but anyway. Let's see. Fay Enchantress, you are supposed to attack Karak Angazar. We could auto-resolve it. Karak Angazar, you have the bigger army. Actually, wait. Well, actually, the size of the armies is identical, but there are trolls at Karak Angazar. Is this worth fighting for the Fay Enchantress, though? I mean, compared to the types of armies that she has fought with no trouble at all, probably not really. You know, maybe I'll do this one between the episodes. I think the Slaaneshi battle will be a little bit more interesting, and in that light, what we shall do is Jolene. Your heroes all need to get ancillaries and court jesters. Alright, so I'm going to take them from everybody. So court jester 1 for you. Court jester 2 for you. Court jester 3. Gautier d'Aquitaine for you. None of you are Gautier, right? No. And then lastly, court jester for, well, actually not lastly, Angeline Beringer. You are Jolene.
Prophetess.
I think that was it. Yeah, alright. So now that's, what was it, plus 20%? Yeah, minus 20% rather. And that should prevent our units from seduction, I think. Let's level everybody up. What do we want to do? Wait. So first of all, you will obviously need Worshippers of the Grail, because giant pile of battle pilgrims is sort of this whole army's thing. And I notice you still have Muster the Farmhands, because originally you were kind of helping out, but it doesn't really matter. We'll level up and get the points. You are the other mage in this army. I want at the very least Curse of the Midnight Wind. The melee attack reduction will be really helpful against the Slaaneshi. We'll want Replenish Troops on ya. I'm gonna say Aurora of the Lady just in case, and we'll frankly want to go towards Enchanting Beauty in a soft spot for the small folk faster than a normal armies. Since we have 2 casters, perhaps it's fine to leave this on Curse of the Midnight Wind and Harmonic Convergence. We'll probably eventually go for some MANANN'S spam as well, since we're having multiple Damsels of the Heavens in this army, but not necessarily right now. So let's go Roiling Skies, another point in Harmonic Convergence. I guess Evasion, just so that you don't get, you know, wrecked by something. Speed for you personally is not a bad idea, but you're on a horse, whereas the entirety of the rest of the army is not, so frankly I think you'll be fine. HP or cooldown versus spells and melee defense, gonna have to go with the latter. You are sort of the highest level of the friars, so first of all, it's increased mobility. Definitely grab Gift of the Lady for the physical resistance aura, and we will want to start saving for healer, but that'll be an eventuality. Let's start moving through Impassioned. Don't want you guys dying. Increase mobility, Gift of the Lady, and Impassioned. And most importantly, you. Increase mobility. We can actually go all the way through Retinue Valley if we really wanted to, but we will also want to start saving points soon. You know what? Yeah, we'll get Soulfired rank 12, meaning we want to save points now. Alright, I think we don't necessarily need to bother leveling Leo Armistead here. Or Leo. In that light, you will proceed here. I'm hoping that you're just in range. Hopefully it's not lying.
I have seen your heart.
And we're gonna attack you. And then try to... Huh. Yeah, we have to. I was about to say we could wait to allow the mask to proceed to Pina Wood, but I think it's a bad idea to wait right now, so... Jolene,
Devotee of the lady.
let's do the first fight against the Mask Astonish. I think we will not ask anybody to join this one because they're a big faction and enough Wood Elves might actually join this place. They're already at war with the Blessed Dread and Clanishan, both of which are frankly we're already at war with. Don't call allies to help, just straight up attack. Good. And then, away we go. Our first fight against the Slaaneshi.
Destroy
And
them.
moment of truth. Is 5 court jesters enough to prevent you from seducing? Assuming that this faction can seduce, by the looks of it, it is. I mean, 5 is a lot of court jesters, so it's pretty good. And they don't have the benefit of the Slaaneshi corruption here either, so sucks to be them. Ooh, I would really like to steal that healing potion since we don't have a lot of them. Yeah, oh, Pyrrhic Victory still. Oh my. We are using a lot of peasants and they're low ranks, but Pyrrhic Victory? I mean, I guess we do only have 1 unit of knights. Anyway, go.
Fortune favors you.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's see if fortune favors us indeed. The auto-resolve is suggesting we're going to take massive casualties, which could very well be true. These are new armies, unleveled, and with pretty much all basic troops, and of course the second army with the Brigands is only tier 1 trash, and is not yet ready to really contribute. Plus the enemy's led by a Demon Prince and has some solid units in here, like the Heralds of Vex Seeker Chariots. A bunch of Chaos Spawn, a couple of casters. It's gonna be a good time, I'd wager. On the bright side, what we have is air superiority in the form of the Royal Pegasus Knights that are anti-large. Enemy is going to... is that a Slicing Shards? What is this? This is the Divestment. I don't even know what this is. Who did this? Is this a... it might be an army ability? Huh. I don't remember what this is. Minus 50 armor and a huge amount of damage per second. Wow, look at that. Huh. Could be an army ability. It's just not a spell that I'm aware of. Go figure. Well, anyway, that basically takes these battle pilgrims out of the fight. Unfortunately, in this particular army, at least while we are not leveled, then the friars cannot heal. These guys cannot be healed back up, even though they have all of their models. So if we had a Damsel of Life, as opposed to a Damsel of Heavens, then we would be able to. But like I said, we do have the friars in this army. Eventually, they will serve that purpose, even if slightly inferior healing capabilities. Okay, maybe not slightly, but a lot inferior healing capabilities, but enough, I should say, in this particular case. That's the dream, at any rate. Anyway, the battle begins as we move towards the enemy Demon Prince. Since the Slaaneshi have little or none in the way of range units in this particular fight, and we should take the opportunity to apply as much of those anti-large lances to the Demon Prince as possible, who loses about 35% of its HP on engagement, and then tries to back away, activating a healing potion, activating a healing potion, activating a healing... okay, it will eventually activate a healing potion while we are distracted by the Chaos Furies. There he goes. Fortunately, the Chaos Furies get knocked out of the sky rather quickly by the Royal Pegasus Knights, who move back towards the Demon Prince. And now... we have a Paladin coming in from the reinforcement, which is fortunately also on a Pegasus, and which similarly also has a lot of anti-large available to it. So, this Demon Prince, I think, is doomed, with no units able to move into support. That said, I am impressed with how long it's taking to kill this thing. Considering all of the Pegasus Knights are attacking it at the same time, it certainly isn't fragile. But fragile or not, fall it will. There we go. With the Demon Prince's destruction, it must be pretty demoralizing, but the Slaaneshi are just going to have to deal with it as that signals the start of the battle. The Brigand piles are moving through the tree lines, so for now, at least until they reinforce, this again feels appropriate with the Brigands rushing out of the trees, our units of Wood Elves and Battle Pilgrims are going to have to deal with the enemy. And the Wood Elves means we've got the... Ow, what the heck? Oh, that was a Penumbral Pendulum. And did about half HP damage from the Battle Pilgrims as well. Anyway, Wildwood Wardens and Wildwood Rangers in combination surround an enemy Druchii Anointed, and their anti-large allows us to take about half of its HP rather rapidly. In the meantime, Demon Nets close the distance, and the Frenzied Demons will face off against the Frenzied units of Battle Pilgrims. And we'll see who carries the day, especially now that Brigand piles are moving in to reinforce, wheresoever possible. Chaos Spawn have arrived on the battlefield as well, and the enemy will take the opportunity to pop off a big spell, i.e. a Pit of Shades right on top of its own units, clipping its Demon Nets, and directly on top of a unit of Ungors, or Gors rather, Slangors, and Spawn of Slaanesh, but at the cost of doing a little bit of damage to its own units. It basically destroys one unit of Brigands with Great Axes and one unit of Battle Pilgrims, and severely damages a third unit of Battle Pilgrims as well. Unluckily for the enemy, we have more units where that came from and can simply keep throwing Tier 1 trash at them until they keel over, in true Bretonnian fashion. And this is why you need so many peasants. In the meantime, since we can't have them casting that Pit of Shades again, we're going to peel away our Royal Pegasus Knights from their current duties, though I believe they did knock out that chariot, to move and surround that first Cultist of Slaanesh, while the second one is being chased down by our anti-large Paladin. Fortunately, the enemy is looking the worse for wear, as the bounce power shifts to 95% in our favor and 100% in our favor, nearly giving the battle to us. Nearly because we do still have the spawn to clear out. But a nice beginning to the war against the Slaaneshi. And I'm glad we waited to get all five of those court gestures to reduce the Slaaneshi Slaaneshi seduction abilities. And just because I don't want to go back and re-recruit units, especially units that might potentially be close to leveling up, the loss of XP would be painful. And I don't want to deal with it. Hence the court jesters. Anyway, with that, the last of the spawn fall, and the battle is ours. Severe damage on a few units, but hey, you gotta take some severe damage sometime. Ooh, alrighty, a nice fight. I was not expecting that Pit of Shades out of the enemy, which with a single spell did probably around 30-ish thousand damage. Yeah, the enemy dropped that spell on its own units, and of course our units as well, and severely damaged several of them. On the bright side, we do still carry the day, even with these two armies, which obviously are waiting to level up because they desperately needed to evolve to their sort of higher forms. But we're working on it. They can stay together until they get a little bit of veterans here, at the very least until Leo Armistead grabs enough, level 5 XPs to level some of these guys, or until the heroes level up enough to confer enough buffs for them to be able to fight on their own. On the bright side, a solid 4,000 gold out of that. Lots of post-battle loot, interestingly. Alright, Royal Pegasus for Jolene. I believe you were going to be on a Pegasus, so that's fine. Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle. Another Scroll of Blast, and your army has gained the Blessing of the Lady. Gotta double check if either one of these doesn't have Saviors. So you don't, you just reinforced, but you're gonna have to reinforce again, and neither do you. So you'll just be reinforcing each other. Slaaneshi giggle. Though the Slaaneshi aren't really laughing in this particular situation. Anyway, you guys can then proceed back, and we will have to attack Durango fast as we can. Though we will have to do so next time, as with that we are out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Gonna have to try... Ooh, wait, did I do the... just so I don't forget. Where is Cassillon? Okay, I did. I just wanted to double check that I spent the valor on the nightly upgrades here. Frankly, the same
have
thing
met
has to be
before.
done for all of you Grail Knights. Immunity to contact effects. Like so, and there's probably others, but we gain plenty of this per turn, so it's not the end of the world. Anyway, like I said, calling it here next time. Rapunzel tries to move towards the Slaneshiatic Accursed Tree, or the Tobaro. If I remember, I might transfer a few more gestures to her as well, so that she can hopefully not have to worry about the seduction of the units, as it's a very irritating mechanic. Imagine losing Grail Knights to Slaneshi Seduction. And otherwise, we will try to deal with this whole situation. I might do this one between the episodes as well, because it's kind of a non-fight, non-threat. And, oh! Did you move through Orky territory? My bad, dude. I'm glad that you somehow managed to stay alive, but certainly put you in a dangerous position. Anyway, as well as completing the other armies and hopefully getting them ready to go. So stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.